Hello, I'm back. Hello. It has been a hot minute since I've done a YouTube video and I am so sorry because I've been so busy. I can't believe that my last vlog was 4 months ago, but I have some news for you. I got married! Yay! It's also the 1-year anniversary of me becoming a GP, so lots to celebrate and I can't wait to fill you in on all the details. And if you're new to my channel or you haven't met me before, my name is Monica. I'm an NHS GP, a personal trainer, a content creator, and I recently have been upgraded from bride to wife. We have some major life events that we need to catch up on, so let's dive in. I recently did a Q&A on Instagram and the majority of the questions were actually wedding focused, so that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about the general day, how much I squeezed into it, and how I managed to squeeze that in. So we got married just over 2 weeks ago now on the 30th of July 2024 at Braxted Park in Witham, Essex. I'm Indian and my partner is Swedish, and we decided that we wanted to do an Indian wedding, a civil ceremony and a reception all on the same day for a few reasons. So one of the main reasons for why we did it all on one day was just because we have family traveling in from loads of different places, from Sweden, Holland, Spain, Mexico, New Zealand, and we wanted to give them just one day where they could travel, experience everything, and then go about sightseeing or whatever else they wanted to do on this trip. The second reason was cost. Weddings are very expensive and hiring a venue is not cheap, especially if you're doing it over multiple days. But you also have to consider, alongside the venue cost, you have the decor cost, the food cost, and so much more. We have a house, we're paying a mortgage, and we're currently renovating our house, and we just didn't have the funds to do our wedding over multiple days. So one of the main questions I got asked on Instagram is how did I fit it all in one day? So I'm here to break down the wedding itinerary and tell you step by step, hour by hour, exactly how we got it done. On the day of my wedding, my hair and makeup started at 5 a.m. and I got ready with my mum and my 2 maid of honours. I was very lucky that myself and the bridal party were able to stay at the venue the night before, because that just meant that we didn't have to travel anywhere or get up even earlier to get ready. And I aimed to be ready completely by 8:30 a.m. because guests started arriving at 9, and so whilst I wasn't actually seeing the guests, it still allowed me time to have photos done, get touch-ups, make sure everything was just ready to go. For the guests, they started to arrive at 9, and between 9 and 9:30, we had tea, we had coffee, we had some breakfast, and it just gave them a chance to kind of talk to each other, mingle before the day started. And then at 9:30, Rich made his entrance in this open-top vintage car. He had 2 dole players, a saxophonist, and he had these beautiful coloured flares. And he came in kind of from the middle of the driveway to the front of the house with all of his family. I could hear it going on, and I remember looking at myself in the mirror as I was completely ready, just thinking to myself, okay, we're really here now, and it's really happening. So I wanted to have the Hindu ceremony starting at around 10:30, and I'd already primed the priest kind of a few weeks before to say that I wanted it done in an hour, because otherwise Hindu ceremonies can last for up to 3 hours. And I'm glad now that it actually only lasted an hour because it was like 30 degrees and people were burning. Before I walked down the aisle with my mum, I had my flower girls come in, and that was my niece and Rich's 2 nieces. And then I had my 2 maid of honours carrying our Jaymala, and then I came in with my mum after that. It's such a surreal experience because it was the first time that I saw the guests, but also the decor, the mandap, and even Rich. So it felt really weird and almost like an out-of-body experience because I was like, it's taken us so long to get here and so much hype, and now the moment is finally here. And all I could think about was making it to the mandap. I didn't even take everything else in until I actually sat down on it. The Hindu ceremony finished at around about 11:45, 11:50, and then we had group photos on the mandap. We actually only had 5 of them. We just had loads of groups together. And then we had the last one with everyone at the front of the house, which was really nice. So as people made their way back to lunch, and it was like a buffet style lunch, we stayed behind, had some couple shoots, had some videos taken, and then we made our way to lunch. And one of the main things that I wanted to do for the whole day was make sure I ate and enjoyed the food, make sure I was able to speak to everyone and not just taken away for photos and videos. And I was so glad because I was able to do that. After we chatted to everyone and had some lunch, Rich then bargained for his shoes back, and then that was around about 2 o'clock. We then had to go and get changed for the civil ceremony. Changing for the civil ceremony was a bit of a tight turnaround because whilst my makeup was staying the same, I needed to touch it up, but my hair was being changed, my outfit was being changed, my jewelry was being changed. I then also needed to have photos taken, a bridesmaid's reveal, and I needed to have my interview with the registrar all before 4, which is when the civil ceremony started. But luckily it started on time and it was about 25 minutes. I initially had my bridesmaids walk in and then I walked in on my own. And then after the civil ceremony, we had a confetti walk where everyone threw confetti on us, which I really recommend because it's such a nice experience. And then we walked back for our outdoors drinks reception. So during our drinks reception, we had a live musician who was Swedish, which was great. We had an outside bar as well with personalized spritz cocktails. And then we had canapes, and also we included walking starters in that time. It just meant that our drinks reception was longer, which meant that we could kind of chat to our guests, enjoy the drinks and enjoy the food. But it's also that point in your wedding where everything has kind of gone to plan, the ceremonies are done, and now you can kind of just relax and enjoy. And it was just a really nice feeling being outside with everyone and hearing from their perspective how the day went. And then before we made our entrance at 6:50, all I needed to do was kind of take my train off, take my veil off and change my jewellery, and that took about 15 minutes and then we were ready. Made our entrance into the reception at 6:50, but before us, our best men went in, our maid of honours and our bridesmaids went in to kind of hype up the crowd. Then we made our entrance and went straight to the dance floor and cut the cake. And the reason why we did this was that it would give the caterers time to then cut up the cake and serve it on kind of a dessert table when it was ready. I was also convinced by a bartender to savour the champagne bottle, which thankfully went well. And then after I poured in the champagne, they then gave that out to the guests to enjoy, which was just a really nice touch. And then as we sat down before our main course, we had our maid of honours do their speech and the best men do their speech, and then we had our main meal. We enjoyed our main meal from about 7:30 to 8, and then our photographer and videographer wanted us from 8 to 8:30 to have some kind of sunset shoots, which was really beautiful. And then at 8:40, Rich and I did our speech together, and then that went into our first dance, and then the dance floor opened, and I honestly stayed on the dance floor the whole night. I just didn't leave. So overall, looking back, like, it was a really jam-packed day, and what I would say is that whilst you can plan your own wedding, one of the things I really highly recommend is having an on-the-day coordinator, which I did. We had 2 girls from Pristine Events. I cannot tell you how valuable they were on the day, because you don't have your phone, you have no concept of time, and when you're cramming in so many things throughout the day, you need someone there to make sure that everything is running on time, or to tell you you're ahead of time, or to tell you that this needs to speed up. So definitely on the day coordination allowed the day to go so smoothly and for everything to run to time. I think that was kind of like an overall insight into my wedding itinerary, but there are so many things that I want to discuss with you about the wedding itself, which I'll probably save for another video, but like the specific details we did at certain ceremonies, the kind of little touches that we had. So I'll probably do another video on that. But what I'd like to say is, if you got this far, thanks for sticking around. If you have any kind of wedding questions, then please do let me know, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Bye. PS, I promise I won't leave it like 4 months until the next video. I'll try and churn them out more regularly, so please bear with me, and thanks so much for your support.